Ricky Craven continues to lead here at Dover. Remarkable story. Had some outstanding runs here in the Busch Series and now leading here in a Winston Cup event. It's the 9th race he has led this season, but he hasn't been able to get back to victory lane since his win at Martinsville. It was an amazing win at Martinsville just a little under 1 year ago when Ricky finally got that coveted first Winston Cup win. Right now, he's looking for number 2 and trying to climb up in the points. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew continues to watch him. Jr. struggling after that last pit stop. We showed you earlier that flag he carried around the racetrack after his victory here 1 year ago. Well, that flag has been on their pit wagon ever since that day. They ran the flag out. They gave it to Earnhardt Jr. He tried to drive around the track. The wind was trying to rip the flag right out of his hand. He said it was very difficult to drive with one hand and carry the American flag around with the other. Since that day, his uncle Danny has put the same American flag on the pit box for every race. He said he got a lot of attention for winning that race, but the special part of that day is that they were running the race. It didn't matter who won. It was just important that racing was back and that America could get back to as normal a lifestyle as possible after the attacks of September 11th.
Unity is strength, a message to the troops overseas on board Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car.
That was a great sign following that report, Bill.
Let's check out the lead. Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart closing on Ricky Craven as Craven's into the lap traffic. It's Kevin LePage in the 49 car he's trying to get by.
And Johnson is right there, and that's exactly what has allowed these cars to close up, is this lap traffic.
Johnson won here in June, led 188 laps en route to that victory. Had a birthday this past Tuesday, all of 27 years old.
Oh, battle for second. Tony Stewart was looking on the inside of Jimmy Johnson, could not quite get there after trying to go by the Kenny Schrader car.
Yeah, Kenny just went one lap down. Wow, look at Craven. There's Fukuyama there in the 66.
Watch out, Joe.
Gotta say, he's been doing a decent job.
Yeah, getting experience.
All right, here's our glove save and a beauty segment.
Ah, good job.
Good save.
Did you teach him that? Or did he just learn it after you ran over him at Suzuka a couple of years ago?
He didn't save him when I gave him. Uh-oh, he's got trouble.
Uh-oh, something's wrong with it. What's wrong, Marty?
They would appear to be coming to pit road, possibly a tire down. I am not right there, Benny, but I will tell you in a second when I get there.
Okay, hurry.
Run, Marty, run.
And the reason I call him Joe is I cannot and will not even try to pronounce that name.
Fukuyama?
So we call him Joe.
Okay. Ricky Craven, giving the New Englanders something to cheer about. Goodness knows the Red Sox haven't been something to cheer about lately.
And there's a lot of New Englanders come down to Dover.
Yes, this is one of their, besides New Hampshire, and certainly before New Hampshire came to be, Dover and Pocono were the two closest Winston Cup venues to.
A battle for the lead right behind Kevin Harvick. Johnson is right there.
This should be interesting.
Oh, this will be real neat here. Oh! How did Johnson get in that hole between Stewart and the wall?
Tony let him.
Oh, attaboy, Tony. And Rusty Wallace.
Yep, closed right in.
While these leaders have been messing around in the lap traffic. Stewart right up to Johnson. Ooh, Mike Wallace.
Oh, and Craven had to back off the throttle. It's going to cost him the lead. Or is it? Might have been an early call there, BP.
Mike Wallace last on the lead lap. Did we see this movie last week in New Hampshire with Johnny Benson?
Hey, Johnson cannot get through the center as good as that 20 car. That 20 car really getting through the center of the corner. Look at how much time he makes up right there.
Last week in New Hampshire, Mike Wallace was fighting to stay on the end of the lead lap, and Johnny Benson tried to push his way through, ended up slipping up into the side of Mike. They got together. Johnson lost the lead there.
Great battle for second, first, third, fourth. All those spots.
Now Tony's down there. Have to move back up to the high line.
Yep. Leader's gotten by, so Mike is pulled over to that inside lane, holding his line, giving the lead lap cars room to work around, as he should. And we're just past halfway. 201 miles down, 199 to go here in Dover on TNT. Running order has shuffled here at Dover just past halfway. Jimmy Johnson has now assumed the lead. He and Tony Stewart, along with Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett, shuffling Ricky Craven back to fifth in just a matter of a couple of laps.
And they're putting the 9 car, Bill Elliott, who finished second here in June, a lap down. Or trying to.
Bill is the 24th place car for the moment. You know how to, well, you know how to say Kurahata? You know what that means?
Kurahata?
Kurahata.
Double?
Black flag. That's what happened to Fukuyama a minute ago. Marty?
Indeed, Alan, and the problem before was that he thought he had a flat tire, but he did not have a flat tire. They changed all 4 tires. Then he came down to answer the black flag. It's been a tough day for these guys, but he's done a really good job. The communication thing has been a barrier. He communicates in broken English and Japanese, but they've been doing a pretty good job, and they're trying to keep him out on the racetrack for as long as they can. Now, I'm going to try to say this. Sa Alan ni Modoramas, which means back to you, Alan.
Very nice.
I didn't hear him say Allen.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah. Not very well, but he did. Easiest part of the whole thing for him to say, and, you know. Stewart pressuring Johnson for the lead. 209 miles complete at Dover. Rusty Wallace closing in quickly on the front 2.
Winston Cup Racing from Dover International Speedway, brought to you by Sprint PCS. Experience the clear alternative to cellular today. By Viagra. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you. And by Team Monte Carlo, the cars more champions depend on. Chevy will be there.
Just past the midway point of today's MBNA All-American Heroes 400, you're looking at the race for the lead. Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart locked up in a fight for the top spot. You know, we've talked a lot about the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship, the Manufacturers Championship this year. It's been pretty hot. Pretty hot, too.
Ford leading, Chevrolet 30 back, Dodge and Pontiac in 4th. Right now we have a Chevrolet in front, a Pontiac in 2nd, a Ford in 3rd. The Dodge is the one that's hurting here today in Dover. Got to go back to 19th to find the first one, and that's Andretti.
Chevy's been out front most today here at the Monster Mile. Earnhardt Jr.'s led 116 laps. Jimmy Johnson, 13. Ford guys that have led: Ricky Craven for 46, Rusty Wallace for 15, Dale Jarrett for 13, and Tony Stewart has led 13 laps in his Pontiac.
If Tony can just get that nose underneath the DP.
And I think we're going to add to his point that laps led, Tony Stewart, in just a moment. Matt, what kind of story do you have for us?
Benny, would you believe that Tony Stewart has never led the points in Winston Cup competition?
No.
Well, he entered today 4th in the standings, only 59 points out of 1st. Earlier this week, Joe Gibbs, Greg Zipadelli, and Tony sat down. They explained to him, look at the bigger picture. We know you like to go and race midgets. We know you like to go and race modifieds and dirt modifieds. But look what you can win at season's end. Tony agreed. He did have a contractual obligation to run the legendary Race of Champions modified race last night. He still went and signed autographs, had Kenny Schrader fill in. He's also passing a midget race. He knows he can win this championship, but his approach is simple. He's going to go out and try to win races, make the other guys keep that consistency, still trying to win races. He thinks he can do it, and right now he's making a good run today, looking for his 3rd Dover win.
And he's now back in the lead.
Add into those laps led.
Second time today, Tony Stewart has been out in front, steadily gaining ground over September on the championship lead.
Looking out the back of the Home Depot Pontiac. Jimmy Johnson is not going away quietly. Why did Jimmy let Tony go by or just pass him?
Benny, what lap pays all the money and points?
The last one.
There you go. In fact, Jack and House told Jimmy Johnson, if the 20 starts to pressure you too much, just let him go. We want to lead lap 400, the last one. That's exactly what Jimmy did. He let the 20 car go. He's going to ride.
I feel like this is Quiz Benny Day.
Yeah.
See, like Marty and Matt, every time, hey, Benny, what do you think? Feeling pressure here.
Oh, Tony, baby, hang on. Little loose as he trying to put a lap on Jeremy Mayfield.
19 car in 21st place. Now the first car 1 lap down.
And Wally and I always talk about that you need the entire racetrack to let these cars come off the corner. That was a classic example there, why you need the entire racetrack.
Ricky Craven continuing to slide backwards. He's all the way back to 8th, Dave.
And he's been talking to his crew. His biggest complaint, I can't run up top anymore. I checked with Mike Beam, his crew chief, and he wrote me a note that said it rides rough right now. It could be the air pressures, or it might be something having to do with the shocks.
Well, he's up there now.
But he's not making any time.
Not very well, yeah.
He ran 0.7 of a second slower than the leader that last lap. So Craven back to 9th now. Jeff Burton's gotten by him. And Tony Stewart is out in front here in Dover.